Hello, I'm Dave Mack and welcome to my TEW 2020 series Playing with the Big Boys. A look at me booking WCW in 1995 and trying to change history and bring the mighty WWF to its knees. This is our first episode of Main Event. At the moment for WCW we have two shows. We have obviously Nitro and we have this B show, which is Main Event. The Main Event stuff, this is probably isn't going to be a very long video because it's not going to be focusing too much on this show at all. This is kind of like where we're going to book a lot of the rest of the roster. Nitro is obviously where our big guys are going to be wrestling. I want to book fairly true to how WCW was at the time, which is basically spamming those big names. It's going to be those major stars going to be front and centre every week, and a lot of the kind of lower down the card people aren't going to get a look in. If we look at the moment, we have 46 wrestlers. I've cut a few from when we first started, but we've got 46 wrestlers and we've only got 2 hours of TV a week. So that's not a lot of time to get everyone on the main show. So the B show is going to be a chance to get these kind of lower down the card guys involved. And obviously at this time, we've got a fairly decent roster of guys to get involved. I think really this is a good show because the recognisable and unimportant people, we've got some really good people. You've got your Guerreros, you've got your William Regals, we've got Sabu, we've got Marcus Bagwell's like the American males. So I've got a lot of good talent that I want to use that just won't get the chance to be involved in the main show. So I'm going to kind of put them on the B show. But again, this is going to be a fairly quick look through it because I don't want to go through on it too long because this isn't going to be forwarding any of the real storylines. This is going to be the basis of a fairly bog standard stuff. Every week, nothing too exciting is going to happen. So we'll get through this and then hopefully you'll enjoy it and we'll get a few more people on the card. So I went through my lives. If anyone's joined me on the lives, big thank you. I've got a few regulars there, which has been really good, and got some really good ideas from people there. I'm going to start name checking people fairly soon because I'm really appreciative of all the support I'm getting there. It's been really fantastic and a massive motivator to get this kind of going. I've got some really great ideas from them, so that's been really good. As I say, I book up to this on my live show, so if you do ever manage to catch me doing a live, you'll probably see a little bit more of the behind the scenes stuff. But let's just dive in here. We are hosting this in the War Memorial Auditorium in front of 1,938 people. We've got a few TV deals for this, but they're fairly rubbish. Nothing too exciting. But again, as I say, this is about getting people on the card rather than just floundering around and paying them for nothing. So this is a pre-show match. We have Lord Steven Regal defeated Scott Armstrong in 10 minutes and 52 seconds by submission with the Regal stretch. Lord Steven Regal had an in-ring performance of 80. Wowzers, that's really good. I was impressed with that. And Scott Armstrong had an in-ring performance of 41, giving the segment rating at a 69. That's really good. William Regal with an 80 is way beyond what I was expecting, so that's kind of good there. As far as announcers go, we've got Tony Schiavone, Lanny Poffo, which is obviously Macho Man's brother. He was a manager / colour commentator who's got nothing to do, so I'm sticking him in here. And we've got Mike Tenay as well. So we've got a kind of nice little B team set up there with Schiavone and Poffo and Tenay. So that's really good. An in-ring segment rate of 69, much better than I was anticipating there, so that's really good. Up next, we have The Shark, John Tenta versus Chris Kanyon. And a pre-show about that, a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. I'm not kind of surprised by that. The Shark, John Tenta, defeated Chris Kanyon in 7 minutes 52 by pinfall with the Earthquake Splash. So we've got a segment rating of 51. Again, it's pre-show, so I'm not too worried about this one. The Shark had an in-ring performance of 52 and Kanyon with an in-ring performance of 51. And the announcers, Schiavone pulling his weight there. Tenta's in the Dungeon of Doom, which obviously I'm going to push quite hard, so I'm going to need to work a little bit with them just to get people like Tenta up there. And Chris Kanyon, although we obviously know he's a great star and a good hand, this is early days for him, so he is very much a jobber at this moment in time, so that's all right there, so that's pretty good. In about that, had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Harlem Heat defeated Alex Wright and Disco Inferno in 10 minutes 58 when Booker T pinned Disco Inferno with a Harlem Hangover. That got a segment rating of 44. Ouch, that's not so great. Stevie Ray with an in-ring performance of 53. Booker T with an in-ring performance of 58. Disco with a 40 and Alex Wright with a 38. Oh, it keeps getting down. Booker T and Stevie Ray got a tag team specialist bonus. That's really good. The announcing quality lifted the match. Sensuous Sherry did some good work at ringside. That's really good. And Booker T and Sensuous Sherry are a good pairing. They play off each other well. That's an interesting one. I've got some big plans for Booker T. He is 30 at the moment, so I really want to push him in the singles idea because I do think he can really go some places. So I'll have to see what I'm going to do with that. I had some ideas, but the fact him and Sherry are a good pairing, I might have to rethink that a little bit. But that's kind of cool. We'll go from there. And I think now we're going to jump into the actual the real show. So yeah, this is the real show, and we have Lord Regal. He comes out and he introduces Prince Robert of Brookside. So we get William Regal. He comes to the ring and he tells these bloody idiots in attendance that he's introduced us to the latest member of the Blue Bloods stable, which is Prince Robert of Brookside. Prince Robert of Brookside debuted his Blue Blood gimmick and it got an initial rating of adequate. I'm not too worried about that. The Blue Bloods are kind of going to be a stable we've got here. I really want to push William Regal, but Bobby Eaton and Robbie Brookside are not the important ones. So seeing Regal struggle going off script, that's a shame, but I think that'll come good. The announcing and the colour commentary did, and the crowd got the angle. The angle got the crowd hotter. I'll get there in the end. With a segment rating of 56, that's okay. I don't need to recap the gimmick changes there. That's absolutely fine. In about that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. American Males defeated Earl, Robbie, Eaton, and Prince Robert of Brookside in 8 minutes 32 when Marcus Bagwell pinned Earl Robert Eaton with a yellow jacket suplex. Earl Robert Eaton carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. That got a segment rating of 53. Scotty Riggs had an in-ring performance of 40. Marcus Bagwell an in-ring performance of 45. Robbie Brookside 43 and Robbie Eaton with a in-ring performance of 60. Announcing was good. Jim Duggan is a part of the American Males now. I've got a little Stars and Stripes kind of stable going on with him and the American Males because I want to give the American Males a bit of a push here. Confusingly, Marcus Bagwell and Jim Duggan are on different sides of the heel face divide. Well, they're not now because for some reason Marcus Bagwell was a heel. I don't know why that is, but we'll turn him babyface now because I'm not too worried about these. And he's got his new gimmick as well, so we're doing all right there. Now he's using the Teen Idol gimmick and he's changed. The Churn was a complete success, absolutely fantastic. That's what we want. So we've got the American Males are a face tag team, and they're being fronted up by Jim Duggan, who's going to kind of be helping them out. So that's really good there. So I'm kind of happy with that. Seems a bit weird, I guess, debuting Brookside and then losing. Brookside is very much a mega jobber, and I kind of want to play off the idea that they don't do so well with William Regal. It's a bit of a long-term planning I've got going on, but this just means that Robbie Eaton and Robbie Brookside are going to kind of maybe annoy William Regal a little bit in the long run. Up next, we have Jim Duggan comes out and they deliver a kind of USA promo. It's the American Males with Hacksaw, and they deliver it saying, you know, a lot of hoes and we want to be the next WCW Tag Team Champions, and they're dedicating every win they get to the Star Spangled Banner. Just a lot of Americana going on here. The tag team title stories has advanced with this segment, which is fine. I've just got all my tag teams in there kind of together who are going to push for it. Jim Duggan looked good, brilliant. Scotty Riggs was underwhelming. I'm kind of expecting that, and Scotty Riggs struggled going off script again. I was expecting that. I want Duggan to really drag these two up a little bit. I'm not expecting mega things from Scotty Riggs, but Marcus Bagwell we obviously know will go on to become good. So I want him to kind of drag them along. So Marcus Bagwell improvised well, that's great. The announcing was good, colour was good, angle got the crowd hotter. Marcus Bagwell's getting better at his gimmick, fantastic. These are all the things I want to see. Scotty Riggs being a bit of a letdown, not so worried about that, that's kind of fine. And hopefully Jim Duggan will drag these two to a little bit up the roster, because at the moment we've got Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater as our tag team champions. We need to get the belts off them, and I don't want to put it on any of the mega teams at the moment. I like the American Males, so that's the kind of area I want to work with. Up next, we get the Renegade and Mean Gene Okerlund. The Renegade is our television champion. Kimona debuted her sexy gimmick, and it's got an initial rating of awful. Oh, that's really annoying. She is a new valet I've signed, who I wanted to pair with the Renegade to kind of... He's got a really good Destiny role that says he might be a good wrestler, so I wanted to push him a bit. But he's come out here and said that he, in his kind of Ultimate Warrior from Wish style, that he's going to be the best and the most honourable and intense television champion of all time, and he will defend his belt every given opportunity. So the Renegade clearly enjoyed the freedom of going off script, brilliant. But Mean Gene Okerlund did not go off script well. That's kind of not what I was expecting. Kimona helped Renegade during this segment. That's kind of good. So Kimona's debuted her a sexy gimmick, and it's awful. I'm surprised by that because, that's all she really is. But you know what? We'll let that go. That's fine. That's absolutely fine there. We'll hopefully improve her over time. I might pair her up with some other people if that's not kind of worked. But that's what I'm using the B show for. It's kind of like a glorified house show to try these things out and see what's going on. Up next, in the extremely short match, the Renegade defeated Kamala of the Dungeon of Doom by submission in 5 minutes and 3 seconds. The Renegade makes defense number 8 of his television title, and a segment rating of 37 is absolutely terrible. So we have an in-ring performance of 34 from the Renegade. That's awful. Kamala's 52, slightly better, but Kamala's contract is running out. His stamina is absolutely woeful, so he cannot wrestle. Kamala is going to be out the window pretty soon. Kimono did some good work. Colour commentary was good. Shivani and Mike Tenay really went together at the announcers table. That's sad news. We're gonna have to look at that for our next show. But we'll go on from there. And I think this is basically where our main event goes. Is we've got about that good heat and decent wrestling. Brian Pillman defeated Johnny B. Bad in 11 minutes and 2 seconds by pinfall with Air Pillman for a segment rating of 59, which again, not great, but Brian Pillman with an in-ring performance of 71 and Johnny B. Bad had an in-ring performance of 56. This was just basically to get a couple of half-decent people wrestling out there to try and get a fairly decent segment, I guess. And Pillman lost on Nitro recently, and I want to push Pillman, so I gave him a win here, so I'm kind of happy with that. There's nothing too exciting with this. And then we have a post-show match with some good wrestling and a decent crowd reaction. Ric Flair, who lost on Nitro to Sting, so I wanted to kind of pull him up a little bit. He defeated Mr. JL in 6 minutes 46 by pinfall with the inside cradle. Flair, that's so typical you, with a segment rating of 45. Ric Flair's in-ring performance of 83, Mr. JL of 50. That's really good for a jobber. Shivani and Tenay. We're gonna have to sort out our announce desk here. This is not good. But Ric Flair benefited from having a groundswell of public support. Fantastic. We're happy with that. Overall show rating of 57. Do you know what? That's not great. I was kind of hoping, really for my B show and main event, I wanted to be aiming for around the 60s and 60 plus. But you know what? That's not too bad because I feel like the Renegade has dragged that down. The Renegade has got really bad popularity at the moment, but on the fact that he might become a half-decent wrestler, I would quite like to just give him a little bit of a push up the card just to see what he can do. So I'm going to have to put up with the Renegade kind of stinking the show up a little bit. If we drag the Renegade out of that, take that out of that, we'd be looking at a slightly better show, and perhaps should have had some William Regal on the actual card. But you know what? We're learning from these things. That's what we're here for, to learn that sort of stuff. So, as I say, WCW main event, it's going to be a real quick one. I'm going to try and keep these videos fairly short because it's not the most important one. All of this doesn't really matter. It's kind of throwaway matches to get people in and out the ring. So, we're kind of happy with that. It could have been better, but it could have been a lot worse. So, that's not too bad. It's really Nitro that you want to be going for and looking at the more exciting stuff there, so we should get stuff through there. A lot of these kind of things here, like my inbox and all that kind of stuff, this is stuff I go through on my lives. Really, these videos are just for about going through the show, so I'll leave it at there. So I really appreciate you joining me for this video. If you do enjoy what I'm doing, please do hit the like button on it, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully you can join me for some of the live shows that I'm doing. Some of the live streams have been really good. It's kind of informal, going through, booking up to the shows and going through it and just kind of chatting with people. And we talk a lot about wrestling history. I've got a lot of guys on there that seem to join in that have some real good knowledge on what's gone on in the past, so it's kind of nice if you like that. Kind of boring if you're not into your old wrestling, I guess, but I'm enjoying it. And I'm over at Twitch as well. I'm kind of new to Twitch. I don't know what I'm doing on Twitch, so if anyone likes Twitch or understands Twitch, then please join me on there. Otherwise, you can catch me on the Grey Dog Software forum. There is a thread for this, which is in the diary section. If you want to join there, we do a little bit of predictions. I'm trying to get a predictions going on that and trying to just beef it up a little bit. And we do some room results on there as well for this, which kind of fleshes out what we're doing there. But until next time, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you later. Goodbye.